One bite that condemned the entire world to death, suffering, and separation from the Creator. But even in that darkness, a promise was whispered, a promise that would echo through thousands of years, through slavery, through famine, through betrayal, until it reached you. This is not just an ancient story. This is your story. This is the story of Genesis. Before anything existed, before time had a name, before the stars knew their place in the heavens, there was God. And in the beginning, God spoke, "Let there be light." And with those words, the universe exploded into existence. Light shattered the void. Darkness fled. The waters divided, and land rose from the depths. Mountains carved themselves into the earth. Rivers began to flow. The sky stretched endlessly above, and the stars were set in their courses like jewels on velvet. God filled the seas with creatures, the skies with birds, the land with beasts. Every living thing was formed by His hand, shaped by His breath, designed with purpose. And then, God did something different, something sacred. He came down to the earth. He knelt in the dust. With His own hands, He shaped a figure from the ground. But this figure was not yet alive. It lay there, perfectly formed but lifeless, until God leaned close and breathed into its nostrils the breath of life. And the man's chest rose. His eyes opened. Adam awakened. The first man, the first breath, the first heartbeat of humanity. God looked at him and said, "Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, rule over every living thing. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, and every creature that moves upon the ground." God placed Adam in a garden, a paradise beyond imagination. No death, no disease, no pain, no fear, just perfect harmony. In the center of that garden stood two trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And God gave Adam one command: "Of every tree in the garden you may freely eat, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat. For in the day you eat of it, you shall surely die." But even in paradise, something was missing. Adam walked among the animals, and they all had companions. Lions had lionesses. Eagles had their mates. But Adam was alone. So God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man. And while Adam slept, God took one of his ribs, and from it, He formed the woman. When Adam opened his eyes and saw her, he knew instantly. She was different. She was his equal, his companion, his other half. "This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh," Adam declared. "She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man." And they lived together in perfect peace, naked and unashamed, walking with God in the cool of the day. But the enemy was watching. The serpent, the ancient deceiver, the adversary of God, slithered into the garden. And he waited for the perfect moment to strike. The serpent approached the woman with a question, smooth and subtle. "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" Eve hesitated. "No, we may eat from the trees. But there is one tree in the middle of the garden. God said we must not eat from it, or even touch it, or we will die." The serpent's eyes gleamed. "You will not die," he hissed. "God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened. You will be like God, knowing good and evil." The words hung in the air like poison. Eve looked at the tree. The fruit was beautiful. It seemed harmless. And in her heart, a seed of doubt took root. What if the serpent was right? What if God was holding something back? She reached out. She plucked the fruit. She took a bite. And then she gave it to Adam, and he ate. In that instant, everything shattered. Their eyes were opened, and for the first time, they saw themselves as they truly were. Naked, exposed, ashamed. Fear gripped their hearts. They heard the voice of God walking in the garden, and they hid among the trees. "Adam, where are you?" God called. "I heard your voice, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree I commanded you not to eat from?" "The woman you gave me. She gave me the fruit, and I ate." "What have you done?" "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." The curse fell. To the serpent, God said, "You will crawl on your belly. You will eat dust. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel." To Eve, God said, "I will multiply your pain in childbearing. In pain you will bring forth children." To Adam, God said, "Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil you will eat of it. By the sweat of your brow you will eat your food until you return to the ground. For dust you are, and to dust you will return." And then, God made garments of skin for Adam and Eve. The first death, the first sacrifice, the first covering for sin. And God drove them out of Eden. He placed cherubim with flaming swords at the entrance to guard the way to the tree of life. Paradise was closed, but the promise remained. If you watched till the end of this video, kindly click on the next video to see what happens next in this book of Genesis. God bless you.